Good. What is it? Yeah, it's afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Thursday. What is it? July. My calendar's a little ahead of itself, but it's July 30th. Um, yeah. What happened in Springfield last night? Good night. I live out there. I don't live in Thurston. I live out a different direction. I don't want to say right now because obviously people are targeting folks, but yeah, what happened? I heard on the radio this morning that there's an all-out brawl, and I'm seeing things online, and I have a phone call into the police chief in Springfield to find out what they're thinking and what's going on. And I just have so many questions about what's going on and what the message is anymore. I'm lost. I have so many questions, and it seems like anymore that you're not supposed to ask hard questions. I have a guy on my page asking me about new journalists and what they're doing, and I'm like, well, there's not a journalist taught to ask hard questions. Hi, Jeanette. They just don't do that. Did you see some of the video footage from last night? I did, but I don't. It's scattered, so I don't know. I have no idea what happened. I also saw some video today of the folks attacking the Elkhorn the other night, Elkhorn Brewery. And it's shameful. I mean, it is absolutely shameful. and they're just beating the hell out of the place. That video we did with Stephen Sheehan the other day, it's almost at 100,000 views. People are pissed. And I think that's the thing I would be most concerned about if I was if this was an issue I was involved with. I think your message is getting lost. A lot of us just don't get it anymore. Hello from the Philippines. Hi, Nick. How are you? Hi, Melinda. Hey, Dale. I see bad things from both sides. Oh, I think both sides are definitely doing bad things. But yeah, who knows? But does anybody know what really happened? And where were they? It wasn't as bad as media said it was. I was there, and some of the blue and blue got violent. U.S. Patriots were there to back the blue and the veterans as well. Okay. All right. Thank you, Devin. That's what I need to hear. Thanks for keeping the truth alive out there. You know what? I'm just sick of being fed shit. And I don't believe anything I hear. I just don't. You know what I mean? And if you do, you're a fool. Seriously. Some young guys got so aggressive in Belgium last week. Oh, yeah, I bet. Hi, Donna. How are you? Hi, Ann. They aren't protests. No, these are not protests anymore. These are riots. And Josh has posted some video on there so we can go back and look at that when we're done. I'm completely sad for my children growing up in this. The world is completely sad right now. Brooklyn, you know what, though? I understand that, and I feel that, too. That's a reality check. But I think that's what people want. I think that's what I am not going to be sad. And I am not going to live in fear. And I'm not going to live thinking that the world is falling apart. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to fight. I'm not going to fight any party. I'm not going to fight any group. But you are not going to tell me how I think. And you're not going to tell me what I'm supposed to think and how I'm supposed to talk and act and do that bullshit. And if you're going to act like idiots, I'm not going to listen to your message. And that's both sides. That's you patriots. Why don't you just stay home? If you just go find a place, do your protest, stop rioting, stop tearing up people's property. It's childish. And then people will come on here. I've got a bunch of millennials on here, not just millennials, but kids who are then going, oh, you're a curmudgeon. Well, you know what? Because I'm tired of people raking my city. I'm tired of people making a mess of it. If you have a message, let's talk about it. Let's figure out what that is. And then let's do something about it. This isn't doing anything about it. It was awful. Protesters decided to go through a neighborhood. They were scaring kids and old folks. The residents were standing for it. They were angry about the protest being in a neighborhood and out of a more public area. Yeah, it is a little offensive when you take a protest into a neighborhood. I wouldn't be happy. I don't know if I should say this or not. But honestly, after seeing this, and I'm not scared, But my wife looked at me this morning and she said, you know what? I think you and I need to go buy a gun and we need to learn how to use it. Because the way this is turning out and going, I think we need to protect ourselves. And I think that's probably what we're going to do. My kid owns guns. I have guns in my house, but I want to go learn how to use it so that I'm safe. And it's not because I'm afraid. This isn't against anybody. This is there's too many weird people out there. But if somebody comes to you to start attacking you, I got to be prepared. And I want to be prepared. And so, and my wife has never said that before, but we just looked at each other and went, that's probably something we really should do, is learn how to use, I don't want to just have a gun. Oh God, that'd be dangerous. I have a funny story about a cat that I needed to shoot. We live in the country, I needed to shoot. And I need to learn how to use it. It's unreal and upsetting to see so much destruction. I strongly agree. Everyone has a right to protest, but violence is not a go. Well, and personally, I think part of the problem is that we have no public officials standing up for the businesses being destroyed or the technique. So it's like, and everybody blames everybody else. Oh, it's because Trump brought in more federal troops. Well, they were already destroying stuff. So what does that do? Sounds like a kid on a playground going, well, he did this to me. I mean, they were already doing this. So does that help? No. Did it exacerbate the situation? Probably. But they were doing this before and nobody took care of it in the first place. And I'm not standing up for Trump bringing in federal troops. But good God, shouldn't we be able to take care of this ourselves? But we didn't. SPD has the report on their Facebook page. Oh, Hattie, thank you. Oh man, I wish I could do two things at once. Hey, Hattie, can you copy and paste it into a comment on here? Can you do that for me? Because I'm not smart enough to do that on my own while I'm doing this. Michael Nicholson, how the heck are you? There's a name from the past. It's good to see your voice. If that makes sense. Shit sandwiches are gross and I'm too sick of them. Okay, Belinda, I like that. Hello, both sides are to blame and I'm done with both sides. I will keep my self-respect. Anyone actually go about my life and live to the fullest. I'm not going to let these people on either side get me down. But I'm not going to pay attention to them either. I agree. We can't believe anything we hear. Oh my God, is it not the truth? Everybody has an angle. It's like the whole world's turned into politicians. I had a friend tell me yesterday, doesn't it feel like we're living in a Monty Python movie? And then somebody else came on and said, no, it's like Truman. And it really is. It's like it's like the Matrix. And I can't remember what color pill in the Matrix you're supposed to take to get out of the Matrix, but it's like everybody's taking the pill so that they go along with it. Joshua Kendall, I saw a lot of it, and it hurts my heart, but it only takes one voice to be heard. I must have missed something in there. But anyway, I don't believe everything I hear. Hey, Zach, buddy. I saw it, and I would say the people protesting were not in the right. The police were doing their jobs. When you say protesting, was that all of them, like both sides of those, Zach? Because there was, I don't know what, they're all rioters, but there was rioters for Black Lives Matter or Black Unity and rioters for the neighborhood. So which one are you talking about? It's a waking people up, and we need to fight for a better world for our children. Yeah, but this is not a better world. It was right in my neighborhood. Was it seriously, Dana? What did you see? New to your site. Love it. Great job. Well, welcome aboard. We piss off a lot of people. Oh, you guys want to hear a funny story? I'll tell you a funny story. So one of my friends sends me a post and he says, Rick, these guys are smack talking you over here. And I'm like, oh, there's a big new thing. But I go over to this page and it's how Rick Dancer's a curmudgeon, and I may have hip hair, but he's just a big old curmudgeon, and okay boomer. And then all these people are coming on his page and just raking me over the coals. Yeah, what an asshole. So I go on the guy's page and I see that he has friend requested me. So I go on his page and I write, whoever he is. You guys don't even know the half of it. I live inside of Rick Dancer, and he's a jerk. I hate him. I can't get away from him. He's so arrogant. He's really good looking, but I can't stand him. And I just went on and on. And then I said, oh, by the way, Bill or whatever your name is, I see that you requested a friend request. Do you still want that, or do you want me to just get rid of that? That stopped that conversation. That's how you say fuck you without saying fuck you. We're adults. No, we're not, Lynn. We're a bunch of, you know what it is? I think it's because of COVID. Everybody's so freaked out about it, and they're feared. We're all told to be afraid of everything, which I'm sorry, I'm not afraid. And, I've been looking at the numbers every day and posting them in a non-newsy kind of way, just factual, and people are starting to understand them. When they say there's 14 cases overnight or deaths overnight, those come from like days. Those are like, one was the 11th, one was the 21st, one was this. So it's not overnight that many people died. It's like over a phase. And yeah, that's too many people. But if you look at all the numbers and you see them like right in front of you, then it starts to make more sense. Like almost 400,000 people have been tested, almost 379,000, nothing. And then even in the positives and presumptives, between 2 days, we lost almost 400 that they said were in the positive presumptive phase. Well, they figured out that they had nothing. So we lost 400 in a day, but nobody ever goes back and looks at those things. So it's our fault. We need to be looking at the numbers and not letting people in the media decipher what they mean. You go look at them, they're right there. And then they show you how the people died. And most all of them, but one, I think the other day, had an underlying condition, which doesn't mean they deserve it. That's not what I'm saying. But there are things you should do. And what scares me is that people, it doesn't scare me, but it frustrates me, is that people are giving up activities, hiding away, and then you're going to go out into the public, and here's going to be this coronavirus, and you're going to get it, and then you're going to freak out. I'm trying to stay active and healthy and keep my body in shape, eat well, try to sleep right. I can't worry. I'm not supposed to be afraid, because fear brings on more evil, and it makes me more susceptible to the very thing that people are fearing. I mean, we take some personal responsibility for your health. My wife was in her car yesterday at the grocery store. I'll tell you two stories. So she's in her car at the grocery store, and Kathy didn't have her mask on because she's in the car. And despite what people are reading, you don't have to wear the mask when you're alone in your car. There's nobody in your car with COVID unless it's you. And then the mask's not going to keep you from giving it to yourself. So anyway, the lady next to her has her mask on and she's by herself in her car. And Kathy looks over at it and the lady goes like that. Can you believe that? We are now mask police. We have mask police. I told Kathy, if I saw that, if somebody did that to me, I'd wave my finger too. I'd be going like this. Don't you shame me because I understand and you don't. And then I had one at my gym where a girl can't wear the mask. She has a permission from her doctor. And a fellow gym member who's kind of cranky all the time anyway, I saw her. She walked up to this girl and says, you're supposed to have a mask on. And the girl goes, well, I have a medical because she says, I'd like to see it. And the girl goes, well, the front desk knows. Well, I want to see it. And I wanted to walk over to the lady and go, have you ever heard of HIPAA? You don't get to know my medical conditions. I'm wearing it. We did our classes at our gym, though. We started taking our classes outside. So I do my spin class outside with a bunch of people. We're all 6 feet away. It's really fun. I mean, COVID's showing me some new things you can do. I'm swimming more, which is outside. When I do have to lift weights and stuff, I put my mask on, and I'm doing it. It's not saying it's comfortable, but I'm doing it. I went for a run today outside. I don't wear a mask when I run, despite some of the people that stare at me funny. So anyway, those are just a couple little stories. Now I'll get back to you. Protest message was lost. Yep, long time ago. And that's what everybody's saying. I saw some statistics and they were saying that people are in Oregon, like 67% of people are done. And they're saying, governor, mayors, legislators, get your ass together and do something about the violence. And then if we could do that and get rid of the violence, then we should get back to the real message, which is important: equality for all people. Important message getting lost in anger, frustration, rioting, damage, senseless destruction of property, And then I saw people on here going, well, they have insurance anyway, so it should cover it. Really? That's your state of mind. You come and destroy my property and you figure I have insurance. Do you think anybody ever has enough insurance? That is just such a naive and pitiful thing to say. And I see it all over online. Good afternoon, Austin Reed. How are you doing? There was not unity at all from the protesters. There is plenty of live footage, Rick. I will go look for it. In fact, I have somebody on here. Joshua is pushing some stuff out here, putting some things on here. So I'm seeing that. Devin and Zach, in the video, I couldn't make out what incited the aggressive police response. Well, this is just me, Josh, but I'm pretty supportive of police and stuff. I don't think they're going to be aggressive unless something happens. And it probably was both sides. I heard people were hitting each other. Is that in the videos? I mean, according to the media, it was pretty horrible. The march was over Halloween decorations. It was extortion from not taking down the decorations on command. The man and his wife got married on Halloween. I don't understand. What? I don't understand. That's weird. Okay, Gary, you got some splaining to do. Education is the best solution to a better world. I don't know. I don't think people are listening. I don't think, virtue. I would love to think that if we better, but how do you educate people on both sides when no one's listening? How do you educate people about tolerance when they only think tolerance is when you agree with them? How do you educate people about kindness when we live in a community that wants to be a community of kindness? I was a speaker at a seminar they had, and all these people, and they're talking about how we need to be a community of kindness. Well, isn't kindness sticking up for businesses that are ruined by a riot? Yet I didn't see city leaders coming to their defense. I saw the chamber and some people like that sticking up for them, but I didn't see our city leaders saying anything. And you can support BU's message. And because I don't think BU is allegedly not about violence, it's apparently these other groups taking that over. So why don't you go and say, help the people clean up and do things like that? There's a ton of things you can do to be a part of the solution. Hey, Ethan, there you are. Excuse me, the police started it. Proud Boys were assaulting people. Who are Proud Boys? Ethan, but you don't really like the police. That's why I have a hard time. I like you to death. You're an awesome guy. But we're so biased. We're all so biased. I can predict what anybody's going to say on here by who they are and what side of the fence they're on. Where do we go back and learn to stand back and really take a view? That's what reporters were supposed to do back in the day. You're trained to look at all sides and go, okay, so there's problems on both sides. But this seems to me, from what I'm hearing, it was neighbors and the rioters. And so the neighbors became rioters, and that's where the fight comes. And then the police come to stop the thing. Yeah, I'm curious why the protest marches were in Thurston in the first place. But because it's really weird, Josh, because what's interesting is because, can I just give you my thought? I mean, that this is a risky thing to do, but if we're just having a conversation here, because, but here's kind of what I think. I think that maybe the rioters, and I'm not going to put BM in that or Black Unity in that. I don't know what they're doing. I've talked with them. I think the two leaders I talked with were great. I don't like when I see posts that say don't damage people of color business owners, because then that was just, they shouldn't. But then what about the white business owners too? Shouldn't we be part of this community as well? Shouldn't it be that nobody's destruction? If you don't want property destroyed, don't you say that no property should be destroyed? Let's get our message out there. Let's get people collaborating and talking about this. But when you exclude people, then they're not going to come on your side. And we all need to be on the same side of equality for all people, and making sure that Black people in our communities and people of color feel that they belong here just as much as the rest of us. How do you do that when it's okay to burn down a white person's building and not a black person or a Latino or something like that. We shouldn't be burning down anyone's building. That's my thought on it. So anyway, my thought is maybe that these neighbors, Springfield's kind of a different town. I live there. They don't listen to that. They're kind of bold in their beliefs, and they're not like Eugene. They're not going to just take it. So maybe there's this move. We need to make sure these people understand we're serious. I don't know, but I think you need to read your audience. As a guy who's been on TV, ran for office, and done all that, there's such a thing as reading your audience. And maybe that's not your best place to spend your time and do your thing. That's what it's apparently showing up as. That's my opinion, and you call me what you want, but I just, I'm going to talk real and open, because I think that's what we need to start doing rather than this bullshit hiding behind bad messaging. How do you think Katie's asking? I have no idea, Austin. I haven't watched the news in 4 years or more. Good call on the gun. Yeah, Shandy. And that's not like a big threat or anything. I'm just saying my wife and I have never talked about that before, and this morning we did. Labeling a veteran a racist and targeting him. Okay, so see, I don't know what this part of the story is. So there was a veteran, and that's what they were labeling him. That's what I don't understand, and that seems to be what I'm hearing, is that's where the start. Because shouldn't we not be labeling anybody? If we don't want them to label us, then we call them names. I mean, that's what bullying is to me. Yes, do I protect my family? Amen to Kathy. I bought one last week. I heard the numbers are way up. Protecting your family. My kids and I are doing a concealed weapons class next month. See, that's what I want to do, because I want to know how to operate this, so that if this keeps escalating like this, I'm not doing it because I'm scared. I'm doing it because I want to be smart. I believe they are no longer protests. They are violent and acting like angry idiots, as the Mad Father said last night in Thurston. See, I'm not getting the whole story. Take a concealed weapons class. Very helpful. No, that's what I plan to do. I've had more threats in my life in this period of time than any other. I just talk. But I get my life threatened. I won't shut up. I am no slave. Rick, what is the answer if a person of color does not feel safe in their neighborhood, and when a conversation was attempted, it got ugly? Okay, so let me do this again. What is the answer if a person of color does not feel safe in their neighborhood, and when a conversation was attempted, it got ugly? So is there a person in that neighborhood who is a person of color who does not feel safe? Then we need to be talking more and barking less. And that's not the person of color. I'm talking about as a neighborhood. And we need to be open. I think we, as a white community, need to be open to the fact that, you guys, we're not in their skin. We don't know what it feels like to get out of a car. Police pulls up and get out of a car and feel nervous that you might not, that you have to be really, really careful. We don't know what that feels. So we need to be really open to those conversations. But see, that's not even a conversation I hear anymore. All I'm hearing is fuck the police and beating us up and tearing down property, the people that aren't even involved in this. And so then who's going to listen? I mean, come on, look at your messaging. I'm not listening if you're going to do that. All riots are out of hand. That's why they're called riots. Oh my God. Thank you, Tim. I agree. Okay. Peaceful protests take place in the light of day, not in the cover of dark. Both sides started. Something to do with a skeleton hanging in Jessie Main Park or near the park. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. My stimulus is going to a new rifle. Thanks, Rick, for keeping it real. That's all I'm going to do. Violence is non-acceptable. Obviously, several people need to learn about guns. It's interesting protesters scared just because someone has a gun holstered. No, what I think people need to understand, I was a news guy. I remember walking into Wandering Goat, and this vegan guy, super hippie looking dude, really nice man, but super radical about veganism. And I see him and he's got a gun on his, on a holster. And I looked over and I went, oh God, and then I kind of went and then asked him about it. And he said, no, that's, you have to wear them out. You got to show them. If I don't have a concealed weapons permit, I have to show it. So, excuse me, a couple of weeks ago, I saw a bunch of business owners in downtown Springfield out there with rifles when the protesters were around, just to protect their property. And I went, can you do that? And they went, yeah, you have to show your rifle. I went, huh. See, so you learn something new every day. I was brought up around guns. I live by myself. I live by mine, I think is what you're saying. I'd be pissed if a protest came into my neighborhood at 10 p.m. at night. I wake up early in the morning. Yeah. If it happened to me, I wouldn't be happy either. Hey, this all came about by a lady 2 houses down from us. She and her children look white. By her own admission and my observation, she began texting her friends and telling them that she was being harassed by a neighbor because she is black. She said she explained to her children that even though they look white, they are black, and some people target them because of their race. She said her 7-year-old is now terrified and wants the blinds closed. They started a GoFundMe account to pay her, I'm guessing, bills. Hold on here. See, you guys do know what you're talking about. Golly, there's a lot of information on here. Okay. I wish, God, you guys, geez. I mean, seriously. Okay, so, oh my God. So I'm sorry, I'm sitting here looking. I'm sure they were targeting someone in the neighborhood. Oh, David, do you know? They were there to support an individual experiencing racism and thirst. Okay, that's what I'm, thanks, David. That's what I'm getting from some of this in here. God, I wish I could, well, that probably would have just made people mad if I got the cop on there. Is anybody, so if I went down, the video may offer insight. It appears there was personal tensions before it began. The person recording stated that he believed the gathering was a march on a house that had a Halloween skeleton hanging by a noose on the porch that he claimed has been there for years. This is only my memory of what I watched last night. Okay. Hey, Rick, hold on. I'm sorry. I just watched the video from last night. My question is, if the police don't want to use deadly force to control these riots, here's an idea: pepper balls in the crowd, or get some fire trucks out there and turn the hoses on. BS, when I deal with a cop in a bad mood, I feel scared. It's understandable. Police were 100% in the right. Chanting "all cops are bastards" is an example of a peaceful protest. Oh my gosh, people. Oh, there's Dave again. Hold on, David. It's just like non-voters taking advantage of the voters. Peace doesn't sell. Logan Curbs, this is not true. That's a bunch of, I don't know. I got that. Hang with us. We will show you how to shoot. Oh, yeah, of course you would. We can be open, but if we disagree with being forced to kiss the feet and subscribe to their demands, talks no longer exist because our opinions and feelings differ. I don't know what the answer is to that, but I'm really frustrated over this whole thing. So people are saying, I am tempted. I am tempted So if somebody really knows what's going on, if you send me your email, I can bring you on here with me. But if you get out of hand, I'll shut you up really fast. I'll take you off. So you have to be someone who really did see it, and I'm going to trust you. But I can send you a link, and you can come on here. hanging white people didn't make it in my history books. Oh, I probably pulled that up. And these people are not protesters. They are rioters, terrorists. They're looking for trouble. You just stick together and run them off, I personally think. Got to get rid of that. Rick, I was there, bud. So, Devin, can you send me your email? Would you send me your email? Oh, I know that's kind of risky, but I sent you a link to where you can get information on purchasing a gun. Oh, okay, I'll do that. Hi, Nicole. Okay, there's the narrative of the incident. Okay. So, Devin, I don't know how else to get you, but do you care if your email's on there? You could text it to me. I can't bring you on unless I can email you. So Logan, if Logan Curbs, are you causing problems on here? Can we just have a nice conversation? You guys, come on. Let's just kind of have a decent conversation here. So Devin, can you say yes or no, and then I'll know. Can you send it to my phone? Here, I'll give you, I don't care, 541-232-3143. That's my phone number. Did you read the public comment actually advocating for the fire department to open fire with the hoses? I did not. When you hear a person chanting all the profanities and telling cops they will rape their wives and children, then it's no longer peaceful. Oh, that happened, huh? Okay, hold on, guys. You're going with me. That's on purchasing a gun. Okay, you guys are sending me all kinds of stuff. That's good. Devin, are you a yes or a no? That's what I'm trying to figure out. If you're a yes or a no. I am at work now. Oh, okay. That's not going to help. Crystal, it's a sad, sad world we are living in. Violence is never okay. Can you contact the Springfield Police and talk with them? Because I've tried and they haven't called me back. I have tried and I haven't got a call back. And that's why, if I do, I would love to go live with others. Josh, I saw yours. I don't trust anybody. The media. I'm not going to put a media answer up there. I'm not. You can write it in there. I'll leave that, but I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I can't. It's not a bad idea, Brooklyn. I don't know of him. He can contact me. I guess that would be fine. I've had Isaiah and someone else from the CLIA, and I found them very enjoyable. My understanding, these individuals have had this Halloween decoration hanging for several years. Posted who was arrested on We the People of Lane County. Rick, it wasn't there, but I watched numerous videos of the situation before and during. Didn't officers show up at the protester's house? I seen video. It didn't look out of control. Just a lot of calling the cops' names and stuff like that. Wow. If you watch live streams of this event, you will learn lots from the live streams. I'll tell you what, Kathy, that somebody has, Josh and a bunch of people have posted of several of them up here. So I will go look at them. We're not done with this. We got to find a way as a community. How do I say that? I don't think it's any surprise that this comes. What's that? Boob troop is a racist term for a Samoan. Why can't we stop people? Yeah. Yeah, and here's the problem. There's talk of another one tonight. We're not getting anywhere. This isn't working. This is like this is like insanity, and we just keep doing the same thing over and over, and it's not working. So, who's gonna put their big boy pants on or big girl pants on, and when do we? Yeah, great. Okay, what did you say? Trey Stewart made the cover of Eugene Weekly. He's been on the front line since day one. Great source. Well, the Eugene Weekly, there's a real source of bias information and non-reporting. God, I'm not saying Trey's not a bad. I don't know Trey. I know his video. I've seen his page and stuff like that. I haven't paid too much attention, but yeah, Eugene Weekly. I've been the best journalist for the Eugene Weekly for the last 2 years too. Pretty sure they don't like me. Oh God. Narrative of the incident on Wednesday, July 29th. The Springfield counter protesters. I have to pull it up. That's the one thing with this problem with this. Okay, so here's my point. Trey is good people, good. I'm glad. I don't know him. I'm not making fun of him. When somebody says, check out the Register Guard. Well, yeah, there's a great source. Or check out the Eugene Weekly. Yeah, they've never even been past the left. They don't even know there is a right or a middle. It's by your place. So let's talk about. They want to go protest at the mayor's house tonight. Because what's that going to do? Are they going to set the place on? Are they make a fire in the driveway like they did at Lucy Venice's, this mayor of Eugene? So when do we have a conversation again? Because this is going on and on and on and on, and I don't see. People are just digging their heels in deeper and deeper and deeper. So you disagree with the guy saying Trey is non-biased. He literally calls out police for brutality, even though the protesters grabbed the batons. See, that's the problem I have with all of this. I think everybody's biased. I don't think people know how to look at two sides of an issue anymore. We don't know how to do that anymore. We can't look at the hypocrisy of and I hesitate to say this. I'm trying to find an example. Trey is not a good source when there are countless people who have verifiable issues with him. There we go. I think all the violence has made it impossible. And Gary, I kind of understand because there were some guys trying to shoot some video of them on beating, damaging Elkhorn. and they were putting signs up, but they were letting other people shoot it from a different angle. And so I have a lot of questions about that. Oh, here Josh has a great little figure here. When Americans are concerned about the personal safety, they buy firearms. Such concerns have been rampant since March, initially due to the onset of COVID and then the social unrest in June, followed by George Floyd's killing. Our estimated indicate that 3 million more firearms have been sold since March than would have ordinarily been sold. I'm understanding that. Wow. So see, this is what happens. Everybody starts. What is, why aren't we talking about violent ALM? Is that All Lives Matter supporters? Is that what they're called now? They were up at the top, Samantha, before, it might have been before you came on here. People were saying that they were calling them something different, but it was I don't know, the other protesters, not the BUs, but the other folks in the neighborhood, and they were saying they were getting out of control too. So people have been talking about that, just so you know. It was earlier in the feed. Wow. You guys, what I do appreciate is the fact that we're having this conversation. I think Rick should contact him. Oh, the Patriots. Thank you, Dana. Can I? Sometimes I worry about myself. Okay, just as a guy in the media, bad name, really bad name. You need, if that's what you're calling yourself, you need to find another name, because it's kind of like one time after I ran for office as a Republican, and I was a bad Republican, so now I'm nothing. But I went to a meeting of Republican women, and the first thing I said, they go, what should we do to help our image? I said, lose the red, white, and blue shit that you're wearing, the scarves and stuff. I mean, you stand out. Nobody wears this stuff. Why are you wearing it? And they were so mad. But it's stuff like that. It's like, think about what you're doing. Don't call yourself the Patriots. That's has a very negative connotation with it in terms of the people you're trying to reach. So you have to think about where your message is going. And that's what I would say to Black unity as well. What is your purpose? Who are you trying to reach? What's the goal? What is your goal? I need to know your goal. And then how do you reach it? And how is, I guess, ask yourself this for both sides. What's your goal, and how is this helping or hindering? Because if we really want a solution, then we've got to start talking and working together. If we just want to bitch and gripe and scream and tear apart people's property, you're going to drive further wedges both sides. Both sides. You're not doing yourself any good. And I can't believe that this isn't. And here's my piss thing that I get pissed off. Governor Brown and our leaders, this is what happens. The train is here. The train has come a-calling. This is what happens when you lock people down for months. This is what happens when you take away their jobs and their livelihood, and when you destroy an economy. This is what happens. Frustration, anger, bitterness, divisiveness. So these are the ramifications of your decisions. And when you put fear into people's lives, it comes out in all kinds of ways. Is COVID real? Yes. Do we need to be careful? Yes. Do we need to scare the shit out of people? No. And this is the result of your action. And that is my opinion. And no wonder people are so frustrated. But the bottom line is we've got to get back together. So, maybe what we, the people, should be doing is not being irritated with Black Lives Matters, and not being irritated with Black unity, and not being irritated with the Patriots, and not being irritated with the police. Maybe we should be irritated with ourselves for allowing elected officials to do what they're doing, for allowing Oregon to have a super majority so there's no one to stop what's happening. We allowed our state to become a super majority, so you have no balance of power. And I don't give a shit. I wouldn't want a Republican supermajority any more than I want a Democrat supermajority. I'd like to have a supermajority of non-affiliated voters so we, the people, could speak again. But right now we're silenced because we, the voters, over the years have allowed one party, doesn't matter which party, but we've allowed one party to rule and get the power that they can make all decisions without ever coming to us, without going to the business community to find out how their response pattern is going to work, and all of that. So this isn't an anti-COVID message, but this is, we need balance again. And you talk to a ton of experts out there who are being discounted, but a ton of experts are saying we need a discounted, we need a balanced approach to how we're going to deal with this, not a fear-based approach. And so then we're seeing all this happen. I was talking to an emergency room doctor, and they said suicides are up among young people. I don't see that death count when I read the daily reports of 303 people who died in Oregon from COVID or something related to COVID. I'm not seeing any reports on how many young people and middle-aged people are committing suicide because they're hopeless. I'm not seeing any reports on how much the damage estimates is costing us from allowing people to riot and destroy public and private property. I'm not seeing how much insurance rates are going up for businesses and people. And these are all questions we should be asking, but we don't. We don't. Because what we do is we can't stop. I have a business coach, and she says when you start getting angry and frustrated, stop, take a deep breath, hold it in for 4 seconds, and release it for 4 seconds. You do that 4 times, and then you start talking about the positive things in your life. So let's say we did that. So one, on a body kind of thing, now you're seeing my really super weird side. So when you breathe in, and you hold it and you breathe it out, you release toxins in your body. So you're getting your brain settled and ready. So let's say we did that, and we've done, I don't want to sit here and do 4 breathing things like you would normally do it, but that's what you do. So then when you're done, then you start going, okay, let's not talk about the riots or COVID or the stupid masks. What are we talking about? Let's talk about that sweet little lady who's probably in her 70s or 80s on the bike path this morning, that when she walked by me, she pulled down her mask and she smiled and she waved and said, "Hey, Rick, how you doing?" That's a good day. Yeah. Let's talk about the people who are going after Stephen Sheehan's Elkhorn Brewery got busted into by the rioters. All the people that came in and had lunch, even though they didn't really need to go have lunch somewhere, they went in and had lunch. All the people that showed up to pick up glass and help out. Let's talk about them. Let's talk about Green Hill Humane Society. I had them on my show this morning at the car wash. And Megan came in with a couple of dogs, and they're raising way far less. They need to raise $100,000, but because of the reaction to COVID, let's just call it what it is. It's a reaction to COVID. They're going to probably bring in around 11,000. But she had a smile on her face. She was thankful. She's still under the mission of saving dogs and cats and other animals in our community. That hasn't changed. COVID didn't take that away, and neither did the people planning all this stuff. Yeah, Paula, I want to put yours up there. People turning to addictions, people who were addicts who solved that problem, and then this has brought it on again. We don't talk about that either. Those people don't get recognized either. So, but there's some really super positive things going on. So come up with 10. Sit down and come up. You have to come up. Your assignment is to come up with 5. Come up with 5 things that are great, and then you focus on them for the entire day. You know, and then just I don't know who watches this. I don't. I know there's a lot of people on here, but I would put out a caution. Um, let's caution the Patriots. Be careful. Don't be doing things. Stand up for yourself. That's fine, but be really careful. And Black Lives Matters or Black Unity, whichever you're going by in there. And remember, not everybody, but some of us really want to be part of a solution, but we can't partner with you when this stuff is turning into riots and it's not being fruitful. And maybe it's not you, I don't know, but if it isn't you and your riots are being hijacked, you need to get a handle on that. That's your responsibility as people. And when you put out a memo that says don't attack, I don't know if it was you guys, I really don't. I saw a memo. When somebody puts out a memo that says don't attack people of color's businesses, can you just add all people of color? Because white is a color. So can you just say don't attack anyone's businesses? That way we have a mutual respect so we can have that conversation when the time comes. Because if you're saying it's okay to attack my business, but if I was Black, you'd leave it alone, that screams of the very thing that you're fighting for or were fighting for. Because that is my race. And I can't do anything about it, but I support some of the basics of what you're doing. I don't know enough about what you're doing because I'm very confused. But we got to get on the same page again. And this isn't the way to do that, either side. So, okay, there. I'm done with my little preachy session. And yeah, maybe take your protest to the civic center of the community rather into people's neighborhoods. When you get into people's neighborhood, you ever notice that? People come to your house. It's pretty private. I remember a guy talking to me recently, and he said, Rick, I remember when they wanted to take us and go to the mayor's house and protest something. And I just said, no, this is not a personal thing. This is a public thing. So we take it to the public center, the public square, and we stay out of their neighborhoods. Because when you go to someone's neighborhood, then you're making it real personal. And this shouldn't be personal. This should be a public forum that we have going on here. Okay, I will shut up now. There is nothing peaceful coming from anybody. Oh, here we go. Now we're gonna. You guys do realize, and then oh my God, please don't start. So Haley, are you talking? What are you talking about? Please don't start. You guys, we can't even spend 20 minutes on here without people coming on and screaming at people. Put down your guns. Put them in the house. I want a gun too. I'll put it in the house. I have gotten to care about and love my neighbors. The barbecues together, work with each other over the fences. Our projects in the community that watch over before just cordial relationships. Yeah, look for the good things that are happening out of this. We're going to have to. Okay. All right. Let's call it a time. If I get the police to call me back, I may do this again and put something on there. And yeah, let's leave it on Shannon's note. Be nice. Shannon Jones says, be nice. Shannon, that'll be on your epitaph, on your headstone. Shannon Jones, be nice. Mine's going to be, he tried. Yes to thinkers. Yes to problem solving. Connie, I like that too. Okay, hold on. Haley, I hope I'm saying Rick. I know I've said it a few times, but have you checked out? Yeah, I have. I think that's a terrible website, Facebook page. Somebody led it to me the other day, and I was like, oh my God, this is a place for people to just rake businesses over the coals. So are you talking about what they wrote about Stephen Sheehan and stuff? And Hideaway Bakery and a lot of businesses in our community. I thought it was, and I'm just saying, I just thought it was kind of horrible. And at the risk of somebody now putting me on there, but I don't have any employees, so I guess they won't do that. Jeweled Redbird, like when I was hanging out with your brothers, Bob. Respect to you. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Don't mean to write that off, but is right, Bob, what a disgusting picture on your page. Oh, God. I'm going to pull that off there. That's absolutely horrible. Honest. Oh, my God, you're horrible. You're not horrible, but that picture, I looked up and I go, yeah, that is what I think it is. Do you watch any of the live videos when it's happening? No. I don't. I'm probably in bed. One thing I've learned this pandemic is things you wish should go away. It's showing you a better way to live. It's living in unknowns. I agree 100%, Nancy. I think I'm starting to figure that part out. We have a huge problem. My candles got lost in the mail today. Kit, you are kidding me. Why didn't you come in sooner and tell me? That's way more important than all these things we're talking about. Your candles are lost? You're funny. But how come you don't have a picture on your thing? I don't ever take friends that don't have pictures because I want to know, even if it's a fake picture, can you just put a fake picture on there? I think people should have to have a picture. It should be a rule. If you're going to be on Facebook or Instagram, you need to have a picture so we can make fun of you. But to have a blank head, you don't even have time to put a picture on your thing. Okay, so I was waiting for, I wanted to see what else. Haley, are you coming back on to say something? I'm so sad. Kit, you'll get over it. Thank you, Rick, for trying. I'm always going to try. Tina, no need to feed the negativity. They don't deserve any airtime, TV or Facebook. My picture is there. I don't see it. Can you see right there? It's not coming up. You look like a blank screen. I'm so concerned that this craziness makes the exact opposite happen. I think you're right, Stacy. Kit is swearing she has a picture. Does anybody else see her picture on there, or is it just me? I always talk. I can't. Mark, is your beard normally that thick? It is. It actually gets thicker. I'm a hairy guy. It gets pretty thick. I'm trying to get it back where it was into a point. Oh my God, Kit, I am so sorry. The pain you must feel seems like insurmountable, but this too shall pass. It'll pass when Kit puts a picture up. Kit picture can't have a picture. Oh, Haley, there you are. Okay. Well, Haley, hold on. I have a friend asking your take on the federal enforcement that is unwanted on a state level. I have a friend asking you, what do you mean? Are you asking me or someone else is asking me? You want to know my opinion? Okay, I have a friend asking your take on the federal enforcement that is unwanted in our state. Okay, Haley, I'm going to talk with you just a little bit, okay? So now I already know where you're coming from because you said it's unwanted in the state on a state level. If you're saying on a political state level, then I would say you are correct. But I think there's a growing number of people. In fact, I heard a survey, 62 or 67% of people in Oregon said they want the rioting to stop. And I don't think they care how that stops. My opinion, federal enforcement should have never had to come in. The governor and the mayor of Portland should have got a handle on the violence and the damage being done, not the message. Of course, I don't even know what their message is now. But they should have got a handle on that, and they didn't. And so federal enforcement came in. And I know that's not a very popular opinion, excuse me, with certain people, but that's my opinion. I don't think Trump should have sent it in. I think he's antagonizing the governor, and I think she's antagonizing him. I don't know what those two got going, but they like to piss on each other all the time. But bottom line is, the city of Portland is being destroyed by rioters who are vandals, and that has to stop. And the message should, whatever the black, I don't even think it's black unity or black lives. I think this is just people coming in and that hate the police. And if that's your beef, then go hate the police and do protests on that. But you don't get to destroy other people's businesses, federal property, which is mine. And I'm going to have to pay tax dollars that we need as a culture to put things back together after COVID are now going to be used to clean up their shit. And that is wrong. So if that's the way you have to get your message out, nobody's listening. Or not very many people are listening. That's my opinion. So number one, to be clear, should federal enforcement have come in? No. The state of Oregon should have taken care of it a long time ago. To go on for 50 some days of destroying the city of Portland, unacceptable in my eyes. But that's my view. Don't have to agree with it, but we shouldn't be putting people down. I'm not making fun of you or hating. What happens is then I go on sites and people are like, Rick Dancer thinks Black lives don't matter. That is 100% not true. What Rick Dancer said is the state of Oregon needs to protect our property and all those businesses in downtown Portland that are going broke because the place is under siege for 50 some days. And we should have leadership that can say, you know what? I support your message and your ability to protest and talk, but when you start tearing up federal property and personal property in downtown Portland, then you've crossed the line. That's my opinion. And I know there are people that doesn't go over well with, but that's okay. We should, if we truly are a tolerant people, which we're not, but then we should be able to have different opinions and not beat the shit out of each other for thinking differently or belittling them or bullying them or trying to get them in their camp. That's a very long answer to your question, but I'm being honest with you. I could get on here and be a politician and try to hedge my way around like all the local politicians are doing, but I don't do that. I already ran for office once. I'm not doing it again. Can you see me now? No. You're still a blank screen. You're still a pictureless person. Okay. You guys, we've kept each other here too long. Did you watch the videos of live streams last night in Springfield? Definitely not a riot. Oh, hi, Lamar. How are you, Lamerica? I will go look. I have not seen anything on it, but I will go look. I trust your opinion. I don't even know you, but you come on here all the time and you're very nice and you're open. And I like that about you. I think you are, but you come across that way. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, and now it's taking forever to stop. All right. Okay. So I got to go. Got work to do. And here, Haley, I don't think that's entirely true. I've met people on all sides with an array of opinions. And so you're answering Bob out there. It's not unwanted. Only the ones getting caught riding or upset. Oh, Kim, yeah, or Kim, or Debbie. Was it Debbie? No, it's Kim. Whatever happened to being able to have a discussion, listen to one another, and agree to disagree? That died in 2007. Okay, someone else sees me, Rick. She commented. Well, Kit, I don't see you. So maybe it's just me. Susie sees you. Oh God, Kit, what's happening to us? Remember we used to be so close when I could see you and I knew and you were right there. Now you're invisible to me. It all started over COVID. Bye, Rick. Have a great day. Thanks. You're welcome. All right. Oh, what did Dana say? Maybe you have to friend her. Yeah, that's probably it. Okay, so see, they all see you. Oh, wait, Deborah doesn't see you. Nope, no Kit. I'm not alone. Kit, to some you are visible, but to others, they cannot see.